All right, let's do it live on a Football Friday edition of the program. Deshaun Watson back on Sunday, baby. Let's go. How you living, Z?
I'm great. Here we are. I mean, just another one, an absolute layup for us last night on the scores. We told you.
Too easy.
It was too easy. Really? Really? We just kept saying, really? Like we were the Miz. And, of course, it just delivered. A phenomenal jump pass, by the way, by Josh Allen. That was fun to watch. But I got to get
Weird with Gabe Davis how it's either a touchdown or nothing. Like he's really basically like a threat inside the 10-yard line, and that's all it is.
But he had the game against Pittsburgh where he had 3 catches for like 190 yards.
I know. Early in the season, he was like a deep threat, and now he's like nothing. He just catches stuff inside the 10.
You know what it is? On my bench.
I played him last night, but I think we got the touchdown.
At least he scored. At least he scored for you. Got to give a shout-out. So we had, as you know, the boys got together last night. The Cook turned in a performance for the ages. So, Cook, I hope you're doing well today.
The boys got together last night. I don't know.
Me and Sims and the kid. Although the
Funny,
kid,
we didn't get the invite.
Yeah, I missed it.
You're coming to the east side, Gibbe?
No.
I have no problem going to the east side. I just like to make fun of you living on the east side.
Yeah.
If you want to live in Bougieville, that's
all right.
choice.
Next time that we the crew gets together, because you guys got experience. The Cook was in rare form last night. It was a tour de force.
I saw a few things.
I got photos for you.
So anyway, he had it was a nice job.
He just went legend. Yeah,
I love that. Loving that happen.
He was the mayor of the restaurant as well, the Mayor Flower. We counted by the end of the night that he doled out, and this is not an exaggeration, 27 hugs
to 27 different humans.
That's right. Everybody wanted to say what's up to the Cook.
Holy cow!
The mayor.
That's an incredible level of popularity.
Oh my goodness!
To have 27 hugs asked for and then received.
That's right.
And received favorably.
Yes, this was great. He goes, because I'm a hugger.
Sure.
Sims A's a hugger, and he was like, he was saying, the Cook was like, I didn't used to be a hugger. He goes, do you remember the first time you hugged a man? And we're like, what a ridiculous question. Like, not family.
Yeah.
And he remembered the first person who was like, no, it's all right for brothers to hug.
I don't think
but there wasn't a lot of hugging in Montana.
No, I was going to say, I remember hugs from my dad when I was young, and then not again until I was like older.
Yeah.
But
would you hug your boys in high school? Would you be like, when you saw the guys, would you give them a bro hug
came
at
later.
least?
Like the bro hug came happening later.
Yeah.
That was definitely honestly when I was there was a lot of the Bash Brothers because that was a popular thing. So you do that
the
a little
bash.
bit, give it a little bit of the bash. That would be kind of the thing. You'd work that in.
And that's the amazing thing that you saying that is that's not even a story steal. That's like you're being truthful.
No, that's truthful.
But I was bashing all over the
everybody.
area.
Yeah, that was the deal. Like you'd see those guys doing it that seemed kind of cool, so you give them one
of those. Cool.
I think so.
I don't know why it went away.
Yeah,
I don't know why it isn't the standard greeting.
I used to. I have one uncle who was not crazy about hugging, and I would always, as I got to be kind of a little bit sarcastic in my age when I got into like high school and stuff, I'd always like, "Come on in here for the real thing," and I'd just give him a little hug, and he would always be kind of uncomfortable with that. But now I think he's okay.
The Cook told me that there was a guy who told him, Jeff, I'm not a hugger, and I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't hug me anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a conscious decision.
And he said, so would you like a handshake or a fist bump? And he said, I'll take a handshake. Thanks.
Handshake. Old school. Yeah. Old school.
Older gentleman.
Yeah. Well, I think that's that generation. Yeah. Right? That the generation probably, like my grandpa was definitely a handshake guy. Like a firm handshake.
Look him in the eyes.
Yeah. He wanted that. And I've tried to teach that to the boys that you wanted.
Me too.
You
had a good firm
look in
handshake.
the eye and shake a hand. I always think that's important. The fist bump is kind of replaced.
No, a handshake is way better.
Agreed.
But I think a handshake and then a hug. I'm a big hugger.
It depends on but I mean in general, I think I do like that. All right.
I like a up. Yeah, like up. I don't like to come. I don't like to.
Oh no, I don't know anybody's doing this. It's this.
Just, Or sometimes I even like to give you I like to give you this.
I don't have a problem with that.
A little bit of that. It's kind of like it's like a bash for the hand.
No problem.
Like a hand bash.
Yeah. If you think back to acquisition on that Friday, think about what we've been through here on this program.
He doesn't want salmon. It's a great piece of salmon.
Well, first we're not in on it.
We're out. We were salmon.
Oh, interesting. We're in Houston, so maybe we are in on it. And then it was we're eliminated out of the gates. The fantastic salmon analogy.
Yeah.
Some people like salmon. He didn't like salmon.
Doesn't matter how good of a piece of salmon it is. Not interested.
Then 24 hours.
Salmon.
Give me all the salmon.
I'm in.
Little Gordon
Sockeye.
Ramsay.
Yeah.
Crispy crust.
Uh-huh.
Finish it nicely. We're back in on salmon to that Friday. It's real. And we're like, well, holy smokes. We just got Deshaun Watson. That's real. All of this stuff between then and into camp, where it's thought to be 4 to 6, ends up being 11. Trying to make sense of all of it.
A federal judge.
But the NFL thought it would be 4 to 6.
Yeah.
Was what everybody did. Not just the Browns thought. Anybody who was in the acquisition business of Deshaun Watson thought 4 to 6.
Yeah.
6 on the high end, 4 felt like the sweet spot. It comes back at 6. We're like, it's more than we thought, but
okay.
You can deal with it. Not quite. Let's go 11.
And he finds out on the field.
On the practice field.
On the field. That's right.
Finds out on the field. And so then you got to deal with it. 11 games. And it felt like at the time, remember that day vividly, that's forever. But forever's Sunday.
That's right. Here
my
we
friend.
Are.
We will see Deshaun Watson for the Cleveland Browns. It is a crazy weekend in the NFL where there's these huge monster games in the afternoon. Ironically, by the way, the Miami game against San Francisco that's a regional game.
What?
So the national game of the week is CBS. CBS has Chiefs and Bengals, which is worthy. They're should be two national games of the week. But the Fox game, the Miami San Francisco game, is a regional game. So that's only going to be seen in those markets. So Fox National, you're going to get something else in the 1 o'clock window. I don't know what we're getting here. I don't know if it's Packers, Bears, or something.
And work whites, they have compartmentalized the viewing area for our game very strictly.
I'm surprised Cincinnati didn't get our game. I think it makes sense in Texas, but Cincinnati is getting Ravens and somebody. Who the hell did the Ravens play?
Denver
Broncos.
Yeah, Cincinnati's getting Ravens and Denver. The rest of Ohio's getting our game. There's a pocket in PA that's getting our game, and then the Houston area is getting our game. But it's regardless of I mean, obviously we stand where we stand, but even the people on the other side of it
could be Commies Giants,
maybe
7-5 or against 7-4.
So that's probably the Kevin Burkhardt
or
Olsen game,
or Titans Eagles.
That's it, Fox. Probably. So that's the one. That'll probably be the 1 o'clock Fox national game.
Yeah.
But I mean, the idea that the Dolphins. Look at this gentleman. Oh, he's in a bomber jacket. Bomber jacket. Oh, we'll see.
We've been
I
told
doubt it. So many times.
So many. Unless it's cream, I'm not interested.
I don't even want to say that out loud for fear that it'll end up in another department. That's right. So you finally get to see this dude play.
Yeah.
And you see him play in this uniform. And I think it's interesting. I think when this originally came out, you thought, well, that's going to be uncomfortable. You listen to John McClain, who we had yesterday, the general. You listen to other people around the Houston market, and it feels like this is going to be a pretty soft landing with just apathy in Houston. Still quite a bit of Deshaun Watson fans among Texans fans, and a combination is probably also being a lot of Browns people at this game.
Yeah, I think it will be.
And it's a dome.
And I don't think it is going to be a hostile environment for him, and I think that he's going to go out there and hopefully play well. I know he's excited. I got a chance to talk with him before our show. It just feels like he said the 6 weeks has felt so long, but at the same time it feels like it flew by, and he can't believe it's finally here. He said, I just have been wanting to play football, and now for the first time in 700 days he will do just that. And for Browns fans, look, this is exciting. This is a glimpse into what the next 3 to 5 to 10 years are going to look like for your organization. And, there probably will be some rust, but at the same time, this is a perfect matchup for that. This is a team, as we mentioned, we've documented their struggles early in games that the Browns should be able to handle and need to handle, quite frankly, at this point in the season.
Yeah, it does. It's a very comfortable place to land. I'm really excited to see what it looks like and how Kevin Stefanski operates and what he does with Watson and the type of operation that he goes with. And I don't know. I tend to think that you've got a quarterback who is of supreme skill, a play caller of supreme skill, and my hunch is that
this is going to
work. You go.
Yeah, it's going to work.
That you go. I don't think I used this analogy in the morning earlier in the week about essentially Deshaun Watson being, from a football perspective, a football Ferrari. and that it is one of those things where people say, well, you get into one of those, you want to take it easy. Not if you're Michael Schumacher. If you're Michael Schumacher, you know how to drive a Ferrari. You get in the damn thing and you drive it. And I think that's what you're going to see on Sunday.
Lewis Hamilton.
God bless him. Schumacher's still in a coma. Skiing accident like 15 years ago.
Gosh.
No one's seen him in 15 years.
It's wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
but I tend to think
you
you cook a little bit.
I think you want to. You want to. You want to give him all of the different play calls, all the different play types, all the different looks that you are going to get as this season goes on, because this is one the Browns certainly should win, but you want to go out there, win it, and then get going and know that, okay, we can start talking about things of consequence if we go down to Cincinnati and beat the Bengals. But we have to do that. For that to even be a possibility, we've got to win this game against the Houston Texans. And I say, let's open it up and let's get him as comfortable with all the different scenarios he is going to face. Gibbe giving hand signals.
Gibbe? Oh, we have the Hoff?
Yes.
The Hoff's coming up? Good.
Oh,
he shot me a message this morning and said, hey, do you got any time for me? I've got a few things on my mind. I was like,
yeah. What would you like to discuss?
Tell me what time you want to join.
What a treat. The Hoff joins us next. Over-unders, scores. Friday edition Cleveland Browns Daily brought to you by Ballybet. Coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Waste and Recycling, family owned and operated. Whether you join them as a customer or as an employee, you'll become part of the family. Visit Rumpke.com to learn more. And on a Friday, the Hoff.
Oh, Oh, baby. That was not on me. Did you notice how I came up in the middle
you
of
did.
my O? Did you notice
did.
that?
You did.
That? Yeah.
It was on me.
You
I'm
get
trying
it
to
sorted
tweet
out.
out our guest. I'm trying to do all
You
that.
do too much.
What a little P moment. I hope
Where's
the people
Stevie?
on Twitter.
Stevie can help you with that stuff.
He's in the
I hope
locker
the
room
people on
helping
Twitter
you
are
with
coming
my
after you,
locker
Gibbe.
reviews.
Oh my gosh, Hoff, how you living?
The Hoff.
I'm doing great, guys. Glad to be with you on this beautiful Friday.
What a rare treat.
It is a rare treat, but even rarer is the beautiful, beautiful mustache adorning the Hoff's upper lip. It is spectacular. Oh. It's stunning. When did we do this, Hoff?
My knees
what
were
are the
weak
reactions?
when I saw it. I fell to the floor.
I screenshotted
at its how gorgeous it was.
A Wisconsin podcast. I screenshotted it because I needed that. Yes. I needed that picture.
Well, I appreciate it. You know, I've always been fond of mustaches. My dad had one for like 30 years
Mine still does.
as a kid, you know, and then they went out of favor a little bit, and he got rid of the mustache, but they're kind of back right now. And so I figured for No Shave November, I would bring the mustache out of the back pocket, and it came through with 10 out of 10 rating from everybody in the family. And so that was all I needed to hear because the kids loved it. Wifey, don't care what she thinks anymore because it's all about the kids
when
anymore.
You said everybody in the family,
who cares?
Excluding Annie.
Yes. Yeah, everybody in the family that gets a vote on the mustache loved it. So it's sticking around here for a little bit. And it's been kind of fun, you know, because I was always like a beard guy a little bit during my career. And every now and then threw the mustache out, but just never felt fully comfortable. But I feel like with the way things are going today in today's culture, the kids, they like the mustache.
Love it.
It's kind of back, and I'm excited to bring it back a little bit.
And, you know, one of my dad's favorite things, and even when society said nay to the mustache, he said, oh, no, I'm keeping it.
My dad still has his. I've never seen him without one. In my life, I've never seen him without a mustache.
Same. It has to be an old picture of him prior to my birth.
Yes.
And he was in high school, really, I feel like the last time he didn't have a mustache. My dad. So, but he delights in, like, if I'm having our family traditional beef soup, where I was having a little bit of that for lunch, my dad used to like the mustache when he'd get a slurp, and then he'd go, you know, you
take
get
it in.
The bottom lip gets over the mustache.
That's right.
And you get like another. It's like a squeegee almost. And
really
you
is.
Get those last few drops out. He really loved that. So flavor saver. There you go.
What is stopping you, Hoff, from going? I mean, like really, maybe making this part of your look, other than your wife, obviously. Like, could you go like? Because I'm shocked at how gorgeous it is. I mean, it feels
stunning.
like you could go Sam Elliott if you wanted to.
Oh goodness.
I'm really considering it. You know, when I was doing TNF and on Thursday Night Football, I thought maybe transitioning from shaved or beard to mustache might be too extreme. But since I'm not doing that regularly now, I feel like I can grow it in and then give it a few months where people get a chance to kind of get used to it, you know, get to know the mustache a little bit and become familiar, and that becomes the look because, like you said, I ain't got much hair left on the top of my head. So it's got to go somewhere. You got to have a little bit of hair, otherwise you just look like a cue ball. And so I think that mustache, that little upper lip cookie duster could be something that sticks around for a little while.
I love it.
I'm here for it. So, Hoff, I just want to turn the floor over to you. According to Gibbe, you had things on your mind that you needed to share with the people. So, Hoff, the floor is yours.
Oh, man. Well, I wish he wouldn't have pumped it up that much. I'm just really excited about this game, right? Because to me, this is kind of like almost coming up on Christmas morning for Browns fans because, you know, after the last 11 games, which Jacoby Brissett played fantastic,
so well.
But it was a different version of the Cleveland Browns. It was Cleveland Browns 1.0, and we've all been waiting since we signed Deshaun Watson and we saw him in training camp for this week, for the Cleveland Browns 2.0. This is the version of them that we're going to see for hopefully the next several years, maybe even beyond that. And I think it's like unwrapping that present just to see what type of stuff Kevin Stefanski's been holding back and diagramming for Deshaun Watson to pull out there, and to be able to do it back in Houston, in the city where he played for so long. I think it just makes for a really exciting story. And for the Browns, it's the beginning of our 6-0 here. We're drinking the Kool-Aid. We're saying 6-0. Why not? Right? This is where it starts. It's not going to be the toughest of the six, but it's a great starting point. And I can't wait to watch this offense, man. It just got me really excited for this weekend.
Hoff, you talk about mustaches making a comeback. I hear an energy and enthusiasm in your voice that makes me wonder, is another comeback in the offing?
Come back to the game, maybe. I'll be there for the game.
He's got a game's worth of snaps. He said.
He's got one
when
game.
we get to a Super Bowl,
right.
he's there.
One game. but it's diminishing quickly. So the Browns better make it to the Super Bowl sooner. That's going to be about 1/2, and then pretty soon a quarter, and then pretty soon I got an opening drive in me. Give me that opening script, the 15 that Kevin Stefanski always calls him pretty good, and then take me to the showers.
It is. We were outlining it, Hoff, in the first segment. It has been a crazy ride to get to this point. And we were in camp, and you were here with us, and we were trying to figure out what it was going to be, and then he finds out on the practice field that it's 11, which, 6 at the time. And I know it doesn't seem like this because I think so many people were, there was such an outrage for so many around it, and it was like, what pound of flesh was going to be enough for Watson on it? And so it felt like there were people who weren't even happy at 11, but when the initial thing came down at 6, we thought, and again, this is not just us on the show. This was people around the league thought that 4 to 6 was going to be kind of the way it was going to go. So when it went 6, you thought, well, that's on the high end, but you can manage it. And then all of a sudden it's almost doubled, and it feels like it was going to be – I mean, I remember thinking when that happened, my God, 11 games is forever. And I said this in the first segment, forever is Sunday. And you have this guy that no one has seen, Joe, play a football game that matters in 700 days. It'll be 700 days Sunday between games for him. So in terms of what this could look like, we remember how brilliant he was, but it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's even way beyond drafting, let's say, a quarterback in the draft that maybe didn't play as a senior, right? He sat out because he was injured or whatever. And you remember how great he was a year or two ago, but you're wondering, first of all, how is that going to look within your offense? Because he hasn't suited up and played regular season games for the Browns. So it's not like, oh, he had an injury 2 years ago. He's with the Browns in this offense. He looked great. So we know he's still capable of being great within this offense. I mean, we're assuming he's going to be great within this offense because he's got the skill sets to be great. But we've never even seen him in a Browns helmet, much less in the NFL for the last 2 seasons. So a lot of anticipation. Obviously, the unknowns make it more exciting and gets the butterflies in your stomach going even a little bit more because we know the ceiling is really super high. Last time we saw him, he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, but because of the unknowns, that lowers the floor quite a bit as well. And so I think we all want to see if what we all as Browns fans endured through the suspension and since they signed Deshaun Watson and the resources that we had to give up to be able to bring him here, is it going to be worth it, right? That's basically what it looks for. Being nice all year. Was it worth that Christmas present? Or should we have just butt the bullet, been a bad dude, and then gotten coal in our stocking?
Been naughty. And had fun.
Just been naughty.
Well, you played – I remember Josh Gordon. When you played with Josh Gordon, he was taking the supplemental draft. He hadn't played in a long time when he finally made his NFL debut, if I have that correct. And then – Ja'Marr Chase, how long was Ja'Marr Chase off before he came and played?
Yeah, I do. Don't you think, Hoff, though, it is different at quarterback?
It's got to be different. Yep. I think it's different in a couple ways, right? Physically, probably somewhat easier.
He probably feels the best he's felt maybe ever. Yeah.
But the speed of it all is going to be the challenge.
That I would agree.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. The biggest thing that I'm going to be watching when he's out there is the timing between him and his receivers, because that's probably the hardest thing that you lose when you're playing against an NFL defense on Sunday, how quickly those guys are moving, how quickly those guys are closing the windows that you need to throw the football to, and then just understanding the timing with these receivers that he's never played in a regular season game with. So that's why I think that when you watch this game plan, they're going to obviously be run heavy to start, right? Because the Texans, their run defense stinks. What we do really well, we run the football. And at the end of the day, we want to win this game. Like, that's the most important thing. However, you also want to be able to have the opportunity to work on timing between Deshaun and his receivers and kind of get him into the flow of the offense and start figuring out, hey, what do we do really well with him as a quarterback? And so that's why I think you start running the ball early, try to get a little bit of a lead, and then you might see some more of those drop back concepts rather than in a normal game where you, let's say, hopefully you get a lead and then you just run the ball more. I'm thinking that hopefully if things go well, you're able to get a little bit of a lead from running the ball, and then you're able to open up passing and allow Deshaun Watson to throw from the pocket to try to work on some of those connections with those receivers. And I think that's one thing that'll carry over whether he's had a big layoff or not is his ability to, hey, if I don't like the first or second option, I can all of a sudden now start scrambling around. I can get outside the pocket, and it can turn into a scramble drill because that's that athleticism that carries over, that stuff doesn't become rusty. That stuff is just reactionary, and that's really what makes him one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Yeah, he's great from within the pocket, but when he gets outside the pocket and it's scramble drill, that's where he becomes elite.
Joe, if you're in that huddle for that first series of offense, or the first script, whatever the script is that we know what it's going to be, what would you want to see called for Deshaun Watson out of the gates?
So I'm saying the first couple plays, just run it, because I know they're going to be so amped up. If you try to drop back and throw the football, the last thing I want is catastrophe to happen with a big turnover on the first or second play, right? When we watched the preseason game, Deshaun was out there in his first action. You could tell he was so amped up for the moment, and the players around him, they know how big those moments are, that he didn't play very well on his first couple passes because he was just so juiced. And then he started hitting guys, and then, of course, they were dropping it, and then he was out of the game. But I would like to see him have an opportunity to run some plays to just settle him down, right? Okay, couple runs, maybe a drop back where it's not just a quick throw, because sometimes those teams are sitting on it. They're thinking on defense, hey, we're going to take some chances. We know we're the underdog in this game. We expect them to try to ease into this with some quick passes, so we're going to jump a slant or jump a hitch or try to get in the way of an option route. I don't want them to do that. I'd rather drop back, send those receivers down the field at some point in the first 5 plays, and allow Deshaun to say, hey, do you like your matchup with Amari? Do you like throwing a jump ball to Donovan Peoples-Jones? Or why don't you take off, be an athlete, and show everybody throughout the nation and all of Browns fans why we signed you, and it's because of that elite athleticism that combines with that franchise quarterback arm.
Part of me wants like a hitch and go to Amari on the outside where he makes it seem like it's a 3-step drop and the ball's coming out, and then Amari then he finishes his drop back and throws a bomb. It'd be awesome. First, they've got to be thinking you're going to either throw it easy. They got to be thinking
you're going to do just that. I think.
Right.
I mean, you think he wants to throw it,
or you're running it, so maybe a play action, just throw a bomb, just a bomb. Could you imagine if he comes out 75-yard touchdown on the first play? Come on. I love it. I'm more aggressive.
I think you let him sling it. I love it.
Let's go.
I think I do think one thing, Joe, Z and I were talking about this yesterday, because it's been a long time, because the last team that he played on wasn't great, even though he was superb.
Yeah.
And we had John McClain on the General yesterday, and he said as much. And because he played in Houston, which is, it feels like the only people who care about the Houston football team are people in Houston. It's not like a brand that's around the country, despite it being a relatively huge market. I feel like it's almost forgotten how good he was and how good he is. You know what I mean?
You're exactly right. And a lot of it is the record and the teams that he was on. And that's part of the reason, a big reason why he wanted to get out of there, because they just couldn't put a team around him. He was playing at a top 5 level almost his entire career there, and they couldn't get it together. They couldn't put enough talent around him, even though, to your point, he was playing exceptional football. They were still losing. And while the quarterback has more influence and impact over the game than anybody, including the head coach, there's still only so much you can do if you're giving up tons of yardage and you're giving up tons of points and you can't run the football, and you got guys around you who you're building trust with, like DeAndre Hopkins, who the team lets walk out the door. So, like, I totally understand that, even though when you're a football nerd, or if you're a person that pays attention, you knew how good Deshaun Watson was. He never really fully, I think, got the respect that his game deserved because of those things we mentioned.
You know, it's interesting, Hoff, what you say there about kind of the attention that he got. I think from the national media around the league, I think he is held in high regard by the people who play the game.
Reminds me of a little bit of how Stafford was in Detroit, where, like,
no doubt,
you talk to anybody who played, and they're like, Stafford's a dude. And there was that around Watson, too, where maybe because of markets or win-losses, they weren't viewed that way nationally or by fans or by media. But when you talk to people in the league, they knew.
Yeah, and I was talking to Deepy, who does the social media and a lot of videos and podcasts for the Texans, and she was saying that even when he was there, she's like, he just has this magnetism where he's got the ultimate respect of everybody in the locker room. She said, and her words exactly was, even the veterans were like fanboys of Deshaun Watson. They loved him so much and respected him so much and thought he was so great, which is that's a powerful thing. And you need to have your locker room have the full belief in your quarterback, and that's how you're able to have success.
Yeah, you get it 2 ways, right? One, it's your performance on the field, but also 2, how you conduct yourself and the studies that you take when you're in the meeting room, and then the study that you're making on your own, right? The independent study, the Kyler Murray seemed to have forgotten that part of it. But Deshaun Watson took it very seriously. And I think when veterans see how serious you take it as a young player, because a lot of young guys don't understand the difference between college and the NFL. Like, this is for real now. Like, this is how I feed my family. Like, don't come showing up half drunk to practice. Don't show up without watching film. Like, I'm counting on you to be able to help me play at my best so I can feed my family and continue to play in the NFL. This is serious. This is a job. This is a business. This is not jack around scholarship time anymore. And so I think when you show up with that seriousness and that approach, and you couple it with great performance on the field, you get that instant respect from all the locker room and all the veterans.
One thing I've noticed as going through, and you mentioned, the timing and all of that, going through the 3 days of practice this week, how much better Friday was than Wednesday. And it's not just the timing of Deshaun with his receivers. It's they're getting used to how quickly the ball gets on them. He's got a very compact motion.
Oh, wow.
He throws it hard. And there were some drops on Wednesday because I don't think they were ready for the ball to get on them. But every day it got better. Thursday was really good, and then today was excellent. Is that something that as a player that you notice, and is that something that carries over? What do you take away from that as the Hoff, seeing a clear progression in 3 days of practice, getting the work?
Well, seeing as though I have 0 career receptions, I can't really speak from experience, but what I do know is that when the ball's coming at you from Jacoby's arm, it's not quite as fast, but it's also not quite as tight of a delivery, right?
Yep.
And you just mentioned it there. And so when you're getting in and out of your breaks, sometimes you're catching the quarterback's motion and the ball's coming to you because of the coverage. And you maybe have another time for another revolution with your feet to be able to take maybe another step before your hands are coming up, before your head's getting around. But it takes definitely a little bit of time to be able to pick up that timing. It's kind of like if you're a hitter and you're used to seeing 85-mile-an-hour fastballs, and all of a sudden somebody's throwing 95, it just takes a few seconds to get your brain to kind of speed up to where your body and your hands need to be in order to be able to catch the ball. And that's something, though, that is nice. Like, if you ever went into the batting cage and you went to, started with the slow, medium, then went fast, you can pick up on that really quickly. So it's not a surprise to me that Friday's practice was significantly better than Wednesday or even Thursday, because they're just starting to get used to everything he does, all the minutia that Deshaun Watson brings as a quarterback with a big arm and a very quick release.
You know what else I noticed this week? Miles is talking right now, Hoff, and he's talking about putting Kyle Allen in the graveyard too, he says, and he's talking about what he expects to see out of, ease into it, then air it out so it looks like your plan could be followed. We heard, I've never heard Nick Chubb put a 20-second really enthusiastic answer together, because Nick just doesn't do that.
Yeah.
And you asked about Deshaun Watson, and you could hear it in his voice. There is an incredible level of excitement while also paying homage to what Jacoby Brissett did. And so they're walking that line, but there's a tremendous amount of excitement for what Deshaun, and that should tell you as a fan what they see in practice and what they expect Sunday.
There's no doubt. Those guys that were in this locker room for a few years, guys that played with him like Jadeveon Clowney in Houston, they know what's about to happen. They know what the quarterback play is going to look like on Sunday. And, hey, it's not just me that's giddy about watching this guy out there. And I think it makes sense, right? These guys in this team, just like us as fans, and you mentioned it, you got to walk a fine line, because Jacoby did great. But he's just not the same quarterback. He doesn't bring the same ability as a team to be able to go out and win and to overcome some adversity when you have an explosive play guy like Deshaun Watson, and it's got to make him excited, because they've been waiting for this game to be able to see what this Browns team can be, not only the rest of this year, but then into the future for next year and the following year and beyond.
Hoff, we are 9 days away from everybody's favorite day of the year, the Hoff's birthday. What is the week like leading up to this? What are you doing? How are you preparing for the celebration? What will the meal be? We need to know all of these
What
things.
are the meats of choice?
Yes.
Oh, man. Well, I just told the wife to go get me some baby back ribs, because we did some smoked baby backs as a little side during Thanksgiving, and it was so good. It was my best version of them. I did kind of a version of the 3-2-1 where you do 3 hours of smoke and then you do almost a 2 hour where you wrap it and then you finish it. And it was so good. that I said, hey, birthday meal, we got to do this. I think we're going to do maybe some corn. I really like corn. I like maybe some mac and cheese. I like a little bit, potentially some cornbread. I know there's 2 different things in there. Maybe some mashed potatoes, little leftovers from Thanksgiving. But it's going to be a menagerie because I just have unique tastes. And the most important thing is you nail the protein, and then the sides are just complimentary.
Right. They're supporting actors.
What are you drinking these days? Like, what will you be enjoying after? What's your post-dinner beverage of choice?
Yeah.
What about with the dinner?
Yes.
Well,
a nice Shiraz, a nice Syrah would go
be,
greatly.
I would assume a wine, or maybe with that meal, it feels like a beer would be appropriate. Maybe a Busch Light. Who knows?
Yeah, you might have a couple Busch Lights beforehand. I'm probably going to have my 73 Kolsch with the dinner because that pairs really well with pork. However, after one of my friends out here bought me a birthday gift, gave it to me early, a bottle of absinthe. You guys ever had any absinthe?
Of course I have. Steve,
Be
little great
careful,
man. Be careful.
Be careful, Hoff.
Yeah.
Don't operate any machinery.
Easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
No machinery on the schedule that night. But I'm going to take a little bit of that, take a few nips. I think it's like 75% alcohol. It's pretty bonkers.
It's serious.
It's like Everclear level.
That's how I end up with no pants on.
But I'm excited. I'm not sure I want an invite to that.
Be very careful, Joe.
Drop that was.
Be very, very careful.
Huff.
Hey, by the way, just real quick on the Busch Light conversation.
Yes.
I don't think it is out yet, but they are releasing a limited edition. You know how they're trying the certain flavors?
Yeah.
A Busch Light Peach is going to be making its way to the shelves soon.
Hey, Huff. You've got that absinthe. I'm going to tell you what to do with it, other than have just a very little taste. Make yourself a Sazerac with it, okay? So what you do is you put probably, I don't know, no more than maybe a teaspoon, maybe you could, depending between a tablespoon, teaspoon, something like that of absinthe in the bottom. Go 2 ounces of bourbon of your choice, a half ounce of simple syrup. You could like muddle a sugar cube in there, would also work as well. A couple of dashes of bitters. Go with a Sazerac with that. That's a hell of a way to enjoy an absinthe, my friend.
Absinthe is supposed to be with a sugar cube, so that's a natural.
So that's natural. Yeah.
Right there.
So you can tie that all together, and there's a place out here in Peninsula that does them, but it's a New Orleans specialty. A Sazerac. I know you've always got a nice bourbon around. That would be a delicious treat.
By the way, can we get a hotkey of him saying, and that's how I end up with my pants off, that we can use?
Yes.
I mean, I feel like that can be applied, like,
of course.
Let's go streaking.
Right after it.
Like it.
Crazy
right after
things happen if you go a little too heavy on that.
Donovan
So
calls
just be
Njoku's touchdown, and then Gibbe goes, that's how I end up with my pants off.
It's ready.
Yeah, it's got to be ready at all times. Glorious.
Oh, great job, Hoff. Hey,
beautiful.
Happy early birthday, buddy. Thanks for your time today. It's so awesome catching up with you, pal.
The Hoff.
I appreciate it, guys. We'll talk to you soon. And go Browns. Here we go. 6-0. Starts Sunday. Let's go.
7-0. It started last week.
That's true. A little bit of over and under.
7-0. Even
Still
better.
there. Yes, he's the best.
Over and unders coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. My good friends at the Bath Authority give you that bathroom of your dreams in about a day. You can transform your current bathroom into a custom bath. A spa-like experience is awaiting you. Let the Bath Authority make it a reality for you at a fraction of the cost of the competitors. The Bath Authority is our area's premier bath and shower remodeler, expert and factory-trained installers. They're ready to go. You give them a call now, you get $500 off your next custom bath or shower remodel. The number is 216-220-8399 or go to thebathauthority.com. It's where affordability meets quality. The largest selection of bath projects are all made in the United States. Change your bathroom from outdated to outstanding. Acrylic tubs that insulate and keep the heat in. Tub to shower conversions. You need them. They got them. Superior products with expert installers. At thebathauthority.com, 216-220-8399. $500 off. Tell them Bo sent you. Good job out of them. All right, boys. Time for a little over-unders.
And to remind the good people, Gibbe's made a move.
The last 2 weeks, young Master Gibbe is a combined 8-2.
And so what is it? It's 30,
So
30,
it's
and 20.
30, 30, 28.
28.
The Hoff went 3-2 last week.
Told you it was
Segura
coming.
went 2-3.
And just as quick as it came here, it can go right away.
Gibbe, you are above 500.
First time all year.
No.
Am I ahead of the Hoff?
Oh no, you're
No.
you're
Oh.
2 games out.
It's all
You
right.
were. Yeah, I think it's first. Yeah,
Well, it was
week
early.
1 you were 3-2.
Yeah.
You were 3-2 week 1. This is the first time you've been above 500 since week 1.
All right, Gibbe.
Hey, and
Take
look,
a
who's
bow.
back, and look who's back this weekend.
You also
Timed
you and
it up
Watson.
perfectly.
I'm trying to think. I mean, your apex. At one point, you were 8 games.
In the clear.
8 games under. He was 8 games under.
At one point,
At
he was
one
in
point-
first.
One point, he and Hoff were inverted. At week 1, he was in first. That's it. He and Hoff were inverted. Hoff was 24-16. Gibby was 16-24.
And now look at
And
him.
now it's a 2-game difference. Hoff had the unprecedented 0-5
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, but 3-2 last weekend. You went 2-3, and so here we go. Number 1. A little bit of curveball for you.
Over or under?
With the return of Deshaun Watson, Chubb. This one's for you, Gibbe, first. Chubb plus Watson rushing yards. Rushing yards, not touches. Rushing yards, Chubb plus Watson. We have no historical precedent here to go off of. We settled on a robust 149.5. Chubb plus Watson, Gibbe.
Under. It'll be close, but I think under. Actually, I don't even think it'll be close.
I think it's
To the moon, Monfrere.
I agree.
Over.
I agree. I go over.
You're going to get at least 30 from Watson. Do I think Nick Chubb can rush for 120 against
He
the
could get
worst
30
team?
in one run.
Can we add Kareem into this?
No.
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 Don't mess-
3 yards,
don't
3
mess
carries
with the
last week.
house.
No. I need to see old Kareem before I can put him back in. This is the punishment. No carries, no yards. We got to get him moving a little bit. Hopefully this motivates.
You're making us drink our coffee black. We get no Kareem?
No Kareem. Next.
You get nothing unlike this ball.
Or under?
Better than you.
You will notice a Watson theme to these.
I like that. I like Watson theme.
Deshaun Watson quarterback rating in his first game back. 103.5. Segura.
Over. I got all the faith, brother. Over. Let's hear Naysayer back there. Give us another under. Hater.
He is his last full season. He was like 112.
That's right. His career quarterback rating is 104.5, second best
Yep.
all time.
So we're right on his career average.
I think there's going to be still some kinks being worked out. I think I'm going to go under. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay if there are kinks this week. Work them out this week, because next week,
I have texted the Hoff the over-unders as well, so we'll get his, see where he sits on all of this. Did I tell you that he had to go with the honor code last week? I forced it because he didn't get back to me in time, so we had to go honor code on his over-unders, and he sent them to me. And I said, he goes, I swear, I promised, like, this is what I would do. He goes, I haven't even looked at the thing yet. And I said, if you can't trust a man from Wisconsin, who the hell can you trust?
I think you're exactly right.
Yeah.
I hope you said it with that exact tone.
I did. That was that's exactly what it was. The man's word is an oak. Next.
Over or under?
Gibbe, this one for you. First half touchdowns. Cleveland Browns. First half touchdowns. Mr. Zagura, question.
Real quickly, what movie is it where the guy says my word is
Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire? Thank you. Yep.
Remember,
Thank you. He's recruiting, so I knew it was like a recruitment
He's
into dad.
meeting the kid, the quarter, Cush.
Kush.
Cush-lash. Remember that?
Yeah.
Jerry goes out there. He's free falling
Yeah.
on the drive out to the ranch, meeting with Dad, Matt.
Yeah.
And my word is, this is my word. He goes, can we get something in signature? No, but you've got my word, and it's as good as oak. And he puts the big hand out there.
Yeah, and
Handshake.
then his word was not worth oak.
No, that's Slimy J. Moore. Slipped in the back
Jay
door.
Moore.
Bob Sugar. Brutal.
Jay Moore, what a run. And then what a
He had
disappearance.
He went from, he had that, married Nikki Cox at her peak.
Big fan.
Think about that.
Who wasn't, sir?
Not me.
So,
Listen, Jack.
so does that. Then at one point, he was like Rome's fill-in and was like going to be like a national sports talk radio guy.
Yep.
And then I don't know what happened. He was starring with Aniston in movies. He had like a 10-year heater.
Wow.
He was funny in Suicide Kings, if you ever saw that obscure movie from the 90s. It was pretty funny.
I did not.
All right, so Browns first half touchdowns. This one to you, Gibbe. The number we settled on was 2.5 Browns first half touchdowns.
Under. They'll have 2.
I don't care. I just feel like you're like the Grinch right now. Like this
Why?
isn't. Everything is under. You are against everything.
Okay. What do your analytics tell you? Why don't you look in your little Bible and tell us what exactly
They've given up
you
50
need?
points in the first half the last 2 weeks.
What did you just say? What do your little analytics tell you?
What are you going to go? You're going to go into a diatribe?
By the way, I'd like you to go. I'd like you to
think
go
about the
to
first
the
thing-
back of this room.
I
I'd like you to go
don't
talk to Paul B.
disrespect-
Podesta
I'm
and
not
Kevin
disrespect-
Stefanski and Andrew Barry and ask them what their little analytics
What are your little
say.
analytics
No, no,
say?
no.
You work for
Like-
the Cleveland Browns, Jack.
Number one. Number one. I'm not besmirching the analytics.
I believe you
because
just did.
you're-
You can't- I don't-
No.
To be fair, I
We
think
are
he's
playing
besmirching
a
you.
simple over-under
Yeah.
game that you're going to go in and dissect and do a doctoral on.
I will do a doctoral.
And by the way, I just come what's on the
I'm the
top of
best
my
of my
head.
life.
Well,
Off
we
the
got
top
a
of my head.
2-point difference right now.
Where's the
2
key?
and a half.
Where's the key? And that's how I end up with my pants off.
Hey, all I know is I think you're rattled again.
I'm not
You were
rattled. I
rattled
just think you're
yesterday.
full of hate. I'm
You're
going
gonna
down
be
to
rattled
Houston
again.
for a celebration of football
beatdown.
excellence, and I'm saying over. I am drinking from the giant bowl of beef
Okay,
soup,
but I'm not
and you're
jumping
over
all the
here.
way in.
Not
Like,
doing-
let's-
you're not jumping in.
Let's let
Missouri,
everybody get acclimated.
show
let's
me
end up
state.
with a nice
Man, I
win,
wanna
and
see
let's
it
go.
first. No, full throttle enthusiasm.
Next,
Doctorial.
Or under.
Maybe
Zagura.
I don't know what the hell that means.
sacks, interceptions,
I don't believe it's a word, but I love
fumbles. It's a doctorate
I made up
tutorial?
words.
and a
Is that a
tutorial.
Scrabble? Can I
doctor-
get extra? Can I get points for that?
Sacks, turnovers.
You'd be thrown out of the Scrabble game.
4.5 Zagura. 4.5 sacks and turnovers.
It's just occurred to me that whoever, between Gibbe and I, because the Hop won't be here all the time, whoever comes up at the end of the season with whoever wins this,
Yeah, this will be it.
the other person has to wear a big hat for an entire show.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah.
Like preferably a big hat with the champion's face on it.
I wouldn't mind that. I don't know if that can be done. I would even settle for the hat that Norm wore as Burt Reynolds with the big hat on Celebrity Jeopardy.
Did you see this last night?
Oh my God, it looks ridiculous. I mean, it's
Josh
like-
Allen on a
like
Thursday
dark
night
helmet.
football one. Yes, but that's those are the stakes we're playing for now. Now it's serious. What was the question?
Sacks, interceptions, fumbles.
Over, under?
4.5.
Over. I am going all overs, and
Slump
I
City.
don't care.
Give it.
That last week, 5 sacks, 2 interceptions.
Yeah,
they lead the league in turnovers. They get sacked.
The defense feast this week. I will take the over as well.
So our defense is going to feast. We're going to get all these turnovers, interceptions, but we're not going to score touchdowns. We're not
Well,
going to have
it's
a good
yards.
quarterback
I didn't
rating,
say that.
and we're not
I
going to
said
run.
We're going to have 2 at halftime.
We're not
All
going
right,
to run like
listen.
There's
crazy.
still room for improvement
Listen.
in the second half.
Listen, I got a lot to
Listen,
say.
bozo.
Next.
You don't call me bozo,
Over
Jack.
or under.
The over.
Joy
under.
boy.
Joy Boy. That's amazing. Joy Boy is
Joy boy is the
amazing.
best. He almost broke
I'm going to drop
Seinfeld.
that on my
Oh,
kids.
yeah.
That's definitely getting worked
Listen,
out.
Joy Boy.
Listen, Joy Boy. I'm going to use that this afternoon when we're playing this game.
I like it.
Give him a little joy, boy.
Yeah.
The over-under for this game, Gibbe, is 47.5. Over or under 47.5.
I actually think I'm going to take the under here.
Of course. How could you not, given your
You
other
have to.
answers?
You
I
have
don't
to.
think they can score.
Well, no,
I
they
think
won't.
we are going to score plentiful.
It
I
is
don't
high in that regard because it would take that's a big one considering.
That is a big
It
number.
is
You're relying on
35-14.
Houston to come up
Yeah.
with points. I don't like
35-14.
that.
Yeah, 35-14.
Yeah,
would
how
do
about I have some realistic opinion there? What kind of fluff you going to put out here now?
it? Jeez.
How about
Somebody on Twitter goes, Gibby's about ready to get fired.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Who's my boss?
Actually, J Dubs tweeted that.
It was? No, literally.
No, JX Dubs. It's
J
close,
Dubs.
though.
Yeah.
It's close.
Little analytics. I like
funny.
Josh Van Bibber. I said, I bet Wednesday night Gibby's rooting for the Netherlands tomorrow morning.
I am not. And unfortunately,
No,
I
you're
can't
into
be
it.
I can't be in an establishment tomorrow morning because we have a flight.
We
to
have
catch.
things to do.
It's
We've got things to do.
shameful. Give it to me. 47.5.
5 for 5 on the overs, baby.
Oh, my
Let's
gosh.
go. Enthusiasm's back. Big analytics are back. Let's go.
Amazing. Amazing stuff. All right.
Joy and moderation,
We will-
not so much.
We will get
Why? Gulp
We will-
from the
I
fountain
will-
of life.
I will get the Hoffs over-under numbers, and we will see how we all did on Monday. The second hour of the program coming up next. We have the scores to look forward to, which is nice. Your keys to victory, which are nice.
Miles Garrett.
Miles Garrett,
We'll play
perhaps.
a little bit. There
Little
was
bit
some
of
music
Miles?
in the background and some lyrics that are frowned upon.
You have
so
that to look
we gotta
forward
be
to.
careful.
A pensive Stevie coming back. It looks like he's
He
not
looks-
pleased.
he looks-
Quite stern.
Oh no, we got
He looks
Stevie
overwhelmed.
worked hard. Stevie got a lot of the music out. We got about
Oh, he worked at
three,
it. Okay.
3.5
It looks like
minutes.
he's stressed. All right, you have that to look forward to, all which is nice. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
OBM, the official printer partner of the Cleveland Browns. While you depend on your Browns to win, you can always depend on OBM because we can tackle any size office. Call 216-485-2000 or OhioBusinessMachines.com. We're back on Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, coming soon to Ohio. And right now I have some very disappointing news to share with everybody. We are doing a Secret Santa in the office, and so far Gibbe is refusing to participate. He is being a Grinch. Sweet Caroline is in here right now trying to get you involved. You've said no to her already. Is that true or false?
Connor signed up.
Yeah, I'm signed up. But you said no.
I will sign up.
But why? What would make you say no initially? That's what
I just said no to Buster Chops.
That's what you like to do.
She's a very sweet person. I like her a lot. She's good people.
She is good people, so why would you be mean to her? I'm good people. You're mean to me. I guess we should all just.
So maybe it's a sign of love and affection.
It is how you show your love. I bet you're gonna be a great Secret Santa.
I like to hope that I can bring it.
Who do you hope to get?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I don't know who all is in.
Everybody's in. The whole
Everybody's
crew.
in. Caroline's like, you're the only one that hasn't signed up.
Yeah, exactly. If I get Connor, I'm getting him a nose ring for the other side of his nose. That side seems so lonely.
I have questions about the nose ring. At some point this weekend, I'm going to get them.
Answered? Yeah. Good.
Yep.
Good. I have questions as well.
I'm a little confused. The ear is one thing. The nose, I'm confused by.
He's got a lot of panache, Connor. I mean, once he got us at the top of his rankings, and justifiably so.
Are we
look
at
how
top?
he's? Oh yeah. Look at how his career's taken off. Caroline's made a move with us in her rankings as well. Psh, right up there, and look at her thriving, running Secret Santas now. Anything's possible.
Thank goodness.
I know. Anything's possible. It's true. All right. Do we have Myles Garrett?
We have a few minutes from Myles that we can play without some bad music.
What if you just give me go like this? Every time you go like this, I'll just go beep, and then we can play the whole thing, and I'll just beep out.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay. All right. Well,
sorry.
Myles Garrett from the podium earlier today. Take a listen.
You're done.
And your run defense last week that you think you can carry over and build on in the last 6 games?
I think so. I know they're going to try to establish the run. The Texans are, and really they're looking at us being a four-man front, and trying to get some double teams on us. And we know that we're going to have to come screaming downhill and make those plays that they're looking for, especially in the bubble. And I have confidence those guys, especially after seeing them this week in practice, locked in and filling those gaps, and getting those double teams off of us. So I'm excited to see it. Maybe we'll mix in some different fronts and some different looks, but it's going to be a good learning experience.
And what makes Tunsil a top 5 guy?
I mean, he's athletic, definitely as far as tackles go, and he's very good technically. Really what he does is he doesn't get turned. He doesn't get off balance a lot of the time. He at least stays square, doesn't turn to the sideline. Keeps his feet always underneath him, so he doesn't take a lot of bad losses through like bull rushing and stuff like that. I mean, he still has some losses, but it takes a lot of strength to finish. It takes some guys who get on different levels and angles that he's not accustomed to seeing. And I mean, he's just really good at doing the simple stuff and the fundamentals, right, and not getting out of position.
How's the My Cause, My Cleats? What do you choose for that?
Boys and Girls Club.
Why, basically?
Why? I mean, I've been working with them all year, and just trying to create that relationship. And I think that's a positive way to get back not only to the city, but the kids who are going to be this next generation, and keep on feeding that creativity and imagination, that thirst for knowledge and education.
Myles, when you're on the sideline, I don't know how much of the offense you watch on the scoreboard or anything.
20 seconds.
You're doing a little bit more with Sean on the quarterback.
I mean, I won't be doing any more. I watch like every snap. As far as paying attention to the scoreboard, as long as Kiffin talking to me or Woodson talking to me, then I'm watching what they're doing and making sure that if the time comes where I need to run on the field, I'm ready, or I need to jump out my seat because something amazing happened, I'm ready.
You're up.
All right, that's Myles Garrett at the podium. The defense coming off of a very strong performance against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, looking to replicate that against the struggling offense of the Houston Texans this week. And, the Houston Texans, they have been shut out in the first half of each of their last 2 games. They were down 20-0 to the Washington Commanders. They were down 30-0 to the Miami Dolphins. They have managed just 4 first downs in the first half of the last 2 games, just 37 total yards, 1 of 12 on third down. So this is an opportunity, I think, for Myles and this defense to have a banner day. Now, for Myles, we hope we get him lined up over those guards. The interior of that line has struggled mightily. But on the outside, Titus Howard's done a good job. And on the other side, Laramie Tunsil, 2-time Pro Bowler, is considered one of the best tackles in the game. In fact, he's the #1 pass blocking tackle at Pro Football Focus. All right, when we come back, we're going to give you some fantasy football players to watch. We're going to give you Browns players to get into your lineups. We're going to give you a little game day forecast and the keys to victory for your Cleveland Browns. Plus, I'm sure we're going to get a lot of positivity and joy from the great doctorial Gibbe. It's all coming up next here, but before we go to break, Cleveland Browns fans, skip the chore of laundry and enjoy life, not laundry. Tide Cleaners is offering 30% off dry cleaning for the month of November. Just mention the promo code BROWNS. Visit TideCleaners.com to find the closest location to you. Some exclusions may apply. We'll be back talking again fantasy football, the Browns, the forecast, the keys to victory when Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, returns. There's a new way to cheer on your Cleveland Browns with the help of your favorite four-legged companion, Barking Backers. Presented by Milkbone is the Browns' newest club for pet parents worldwide. Sign up today at barkingbackers.com. Barking Backers, the fan club for dogs. All right, we're going to give you some fantasy football. Stardom, sit-em. Teams getting near the fantasy playoffs. Hopefully your team is in a good spot. Quarterback, start all the usual suspects. But if you need somebody this week, if you need to get a quarterback in there, guys, I like Deshaun Watson. I would start the Cleveland Browns quarterback, Deshaun Watson, this week. Trevor Lawrence against Detroit. He's playing electric football. Jimmy Garoppolo against Miami. That is absolutely a plus matchup for him. You can throw the ball on the Dolphins. Those three guys I like as kind of fill-in starters. Geno Smith as well against the Rams. Derek Carr against the Chargers in what should be a shootout. Those are kind of the guys that if you need somebody to plug and play, those are the ones. Watson, if he's available in your leagues, obviously go get him. I imagine he's not available in any leagues with Cleveland Browns fans. Running back position for you this week. Guys who maybe you want to get in there. Rashad White seems to be taking over for the Bucs against the New Orleans Saints. David Montgomery against Green Bay. He still will be the main man there. Miles Sanders against Tennessee. Miles Sanders is starting to play a massive role for the Eagles, top 5 in the league or top 10 in the league in rushing yards so far this season. So I think you can roll with him. And then Isaiah Pacheco, over 100 yards last week, somebody who potentially is kind of taken over that starting job with the Kansas City Chiefs. As we get to the wide receiver position, Garrett Wilson, the Ohio State Buckeye, he is having a very good season when he gets good quarterback play. Well, he's getting that from Mike White. So I think Garrett Wilson is a top 20 play this week. I mentioned Trevor Lawrence earlier. How about his top target, Christian Kirk, taking on the Detroit Lions? Great start for you there. Amon-Ra St. Brown must start every week, especially in a PPR league. You want to keep him going. Our own Amari Cooper must start this week. Chris Godwin has 6 or more catches. So if you're in a PPR league in 7 straight games, you obviously want to keep him in your lineup. Christian Watson's on a heater. The guy's scoring. You got to give him an opportunity to stay in your lineups there. And then I also like the young rookie, George Pickens of the Pittsburgh Steelers. As we go to the tight end position this week, excuse me. Go to the tight end position. Thank you, Gibbe. Some tight ends. Dalton Schultz remains red hot. Couple of touchdowns on Thanksgiving. He's had that long layoff. He's ready to go. Pat Freiermuth against the Atlanta Falcons is a perfect start for your teams. And then I like Gerald Everett because Justin Herbert plays so well against the Raiders. I think he's a good start for you in that one as well at the tight end spot. If you're counting on David Njoku, scour your waiver wire. Obviously, you can give, Harrison Bryant or Pharaoh Brown a look from the Browns standpoint. Maybe you're able to find on the waiver wire Tyler Conklin had a nice game. It's a revenge game for him going against the Minnesota Vikings. He's somebody, especially in a PPR league, that you could give a look to. And then on the defenses, the streamers for you this week, Ravens against the awful Denver Broncos, the Dallas Cowboys against Indianapolis. If you were able to pick up the Seahawks against the Rams, I think that's a good play. I also like Tampa against the Saints. The Browns are available probably in a lot of leagues. I'd pick them up and play them against Houston as well. So there's a look at some of your fantasy plays for this week. From the Browns standpoint, I think you could start a lot of people. You can comfortably start Deshaun Watson at quarterback. Nick Chubb obviously is a must start. Amari Cooper's a must start. I would keep Donovan Peoples-Jones in your lineups. I think he will have a very nice game down there with Deshaun Watson. I think you can start the Browns defense, and if you needed to without Chief, you can take a flyer on Harrison Bryant or on Pharaoh Brown there. The game day forecast is brought to you by Carrier, a partner of the Cleveland Browns. Cloudy with temperatures in the high 60s by kickoff at 1, despite playing under the NRG Stadium's retractable roof. So they're keeping it closed. I'd like it if your mic was on. There, that's 2 today.
Sad. It is sad.
That's 2 today. Just saying. On air light.
I think it's our last nice weather game of the year.
Not for us. Not for us, Gibbe. That doesn't affect us as much. You and I.
Well, it does. You'll quickly find out how cold it really is in that front row.
Oh, I'm well aware. I was in Green Bay freezing my butt off last Christmas.
Yeah,
Christmas.
It will get a little colder before it's all said and done. But I mean, in terms of like tomorrow night in Houston, I just want to find a patio, go hang out.
Oh, is it gonna be warm down there for us?
Around 70.
Oh, baby. Okay. Yeah. All right.
It's a nice night.
I like the sound of that.
It's a quarter zip and shorts.
Sure. Fine look. Yeah, it's a perfect look for this time of year. All right, keys to victory for the Cleveland Browns. Time for the keys to victory against the Houston Texans. Number one, let's get off to a fast start. I've given you the stats. Last 2 games, losses to Washington and Miami. In fact, they've lost 6 in a row by a touchdown or more. They have been outscored 50-0 in the first half. Offensively, the Texans have just 4 first downs, 1 of 12 on third down. They have just 37 total yards. Their star running back, Dameon Pierce, has been held to just 8 yards rushing in each of the last 2 games after averaging 86 yards per game in the first 9 games of the season, which was good for 6th in the NFL. So let's just get on them, pound them. We've talked about already that Kyle Allen sacked 5 times a week ago. This is a game for the defense to make a statement early. Offensively, by the way, Myles Garrett, 1.5 sacks. He needs 1.5 sacks in this game to get to 70. Would be one of 10 players ever to reach 70 sacks in their first 6 seasons. So that's something to watch there for Myles Garrett. When the Browns have the football, the next rushing touchdown by Nick Chubb will be a new career high 13 for a single season. So you want to see Nick Chubb get that done, and you should. Against the Texans, they've given up 1,592 yards and 14 touchdowns to running backs already this year. So run the ball with Nick Chubb. They've already allowed 5 100-yard rushers. All of them were greater than 140 yards. Derrick Henry had 219 and 2. And for his career with the Browns, Nick Chubb, 28 100-yard games. The Browns are 20-8 in those games, 4-2 this year in the 6 games where he's run for more than 100 yards. So get off to a fast start. You do that, this team's going to give up. The Houston Texans are going to give up. They know the deal. They're
and
going
keep
to the
foot
number
on
1
the
pick.
throat.
Yes,
don't
I agree.
Take it off.
No.
Let's cruise. Let's get out to a lead. Let's keep the lead. Let's keep scoring, and let's get out of there 5-7, and then we'll worry about what comes next.
Agreed. Go ahead and right. Keep it down. Keep going, and get after it. Get after it.
If we win the toss, defer, take. What are we doing here? Because I was a little concerned about that last week, but it worked out.
I like deferring just because I like having the opportunity for that double dip at the end of the first half and the second half. I also like the idea of, against a team like this, if you feel good about it, taking the ball, scoring, and then being like, okay, here we go again.
Yeah, we're pretty good at scoring on the first possession.
We're quite good at it, and hopefully that's a trend that continues this week, because it's a great way to start a game with a touchdown, and the Browns finally got the monkey off their back that they had not won a game in which they scored a touchdown on their opening possession. So hopefully they can do that. And then, as I was saying, run the football. Nick Chubb, it's going to set up play action. It's about Deshaun Watson, getting him comfortable, getting him ready for games that are going to be of more importance. And then the other part is the stuff that doesn't necessarily show up in a box score, special teams, right? We have to make sure that they don't get the flip field position on us. We don't just let them have a nice run back that gives them points without getting a first down. We can't have any miscues there. And we can't turn the football over. We should take the ball away from them. That's something our defense hasn't done much of. We need interceptions, right? We only have 3 on the season due to the Cleveland Browns. Just 3 interceptions this year. The Texans have thrown 13, most in the NFL. The Browns 3, that's second fewest. This will be a great game to see our defense get their hands on the football, take the ball away, get some interceptions. MJ Emerson, first career interception. Greg Newsome could be his first career interception. Could be the first of the season for John Johnson. So that's what you want to see. So far this year, the 3 interceptions. We got Delpit week 1. You had Denzel Ward against Atlanta, and then A.J. Green on the tip against Cincinnati. So it's been a while, 3 games since then without an interception. So we need to go ahead and get an interception and take the ball away. But just don't let them get interested in this game. Don't let them get into this game. Let's just stomp them, keep the gas down.
They don't want to be there, so let's ensure let's ensure it stays that way.
Yes, I agree. I think we need to go ahead and just take it to them. They are an inferior team. They know it. You know it. But take it to them. Don't take them lightly. Take it to them. Give them your best and dominate them the way they've been dominated the last 2 weeks.
I would like, because obviously Njoku's loss is big for this football team. We saw there's been a little bit of a struggle without him in the lineup. Get a little Kareem Hunt going out of that backfield. Come on, let's go.
I'd like to see Kareem Hunt get going. For Kareem, it's such a strange season this year for Kareem Hunt. On the year, he had 4 touchdowns early, has not scored in a while. He's been below 50 yards rushing in 9 straight games. Only has 1 game with more than 70 total yards since week 2. He's been held to 15 or fewer rushing yards in 4 of his last 6 games. It just is not the Kareem Hunt that we're accustomed to. He's averaging a career low 3.9 yards a carry. It would be great to get him going, and I think this is an opponent where you can do that.
Might be a nice little option, too, for Deshaun, a nice safety valve. Get him the ball.
Yeah.
You know, we know how great a blocker he is, especially when teams are blitzing. You know,
Yes.
but get him a touch or two early. Let's get him going a little bit, a little momentum.
I like that, Gibbe. I like
And
where
then
your head's at.
you know, just run the damn ball.
I want to see Sean throw the ball around, and I
Well,
think that he can
You're
do
going to
that.
get to see that.
Yeah,
But like when the game is under control,
Yep.
like run the ball at will, turn the offensive line loose, go right down the field. Like exert your will
Yes.
on someone.
Listen to Gibbe. Do that.
See?
Exert your will.
There's your positivity
dominate him.
for the day.
There it is. Gibbe, tremendous work by you right there. And guess what, folks? Time to get the pad and the paper. Well, those are the same thing.
Should.
The pen and the paper.
They should.
Take some notes because it's time. That's right. It's time to get rich because you need to pay attention to the scores. Little segment, little ditty we like to call Pay Attention to the Scores. Coming your way next. Cleveland Browns Daily brought to you by Ballybet. Coming soon to Ohio.
Browns Daily brought to you by Ballybet. Coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
And be sure to stop by the free Twisted Tea Tailgate pregame party prior to every home game. Twisted Tea Tailgate is located on the west side of First Energy Stadium, combines the atmosphere of a beer garden with live music, food, and drink options, along with areas for socializing. Twisted Tea Tailgate opens 4 hours prior to kickoff and is open to fans with a ticket to the game. It has come to that time, my friends, for you to pay attention to the scores, and by God, you should.
Jack! 9-6 the last 2 weeks, Jack. That puts us 33 games over 500 apiece, 66 combined.
Amazing. Come on.
Pal. You're lucky that Christmas is going to feel free for you this week, pal.
Pay attention, Joy Boy.
That's right.
Bookman. It's from the Bookman, from the Seinfeld with Bookman.
Yeah.
He calls Jerry like 4 different things,
Yeah.
and the one that jumped in my head and kept
Joy
saying
Boy.
was
Yeah.
Joy Boy, which
Yeah.
is amazing. Absolutely.
What about Blue Streak, Jack?
That's a blue streak, Jack. I've been using that. It's fantastic.
Oh, man, it's good.
I don't even know like that. That's how we're starting this segment?
Yes, of course.
it's
Why
pure
wouldn't it be?
joy.
It's Friday. We're out here living our best lives. What do you want
Oh,
from us,
baby.
Skibby? Yeah.
Indeed.
Oh, boy.
All right. What did y'all do last week? What kind of victory lap you want to take this week?
9-6
6,
last
baby.
week. Solid.
Very
Just
strong.
chugging along. And the great news is, and I love it when it's like this, had you been smart enough to decipher the differences between us, you could have gone 13-2. There were only 2 games that we both missed in this week, which were Green
did we
Bay,
miss?
Green Bay and Philly. We
Okay.
both had Green Bay, Philly covered, and Denver at Carolina. We both had Denver. Other than that, one of us. Well, I guess that's not true. You could have won. You could have gone 12-3, and we both had Dallas. But
That one got twisted.
I had
Those-
Baltimore. I had Jacksonville. You wisely had Cincinnati. You wisely backed the Niners, and
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
There it
Yeah.
is.
I think we got like 4-1 on the big numbers last week. There aren't as many big numbers this week. There were 4 games that were
No,
9
Dallas
or
was the
plus.
only one. But you got the Niners.
I
you
got
had
the Niners,
KC, we both got. Miami, we both got.
and Miami.
Which
Yeah.
was 14.
So
14.
14. There was
And
a
15.5 for KC.
15.5 for KC. Remember, that was when we said, what would the number have to be for you to go the other way?
And we said 17.5. And
17.
guess where it hit?
On it.
16. Would have been nice to have a middle there,
Would have been.
as they
Yep.
call it in the
I like
in the
it.
parlance.
I like it. All right,
of
Gibby.
Vegas.
All right, let's get down to it, gentlemen. This is week 13 in the National Football League, and we kick things off with a trip to Baltimore. The Horseshoe Road Inn Saloon playing host to the Denver Broncos. The Broncos 3-8, losers of 3 in a row. Baltimore coming off a tough loss to Jacksonville. Nathan Zagura, the floor is yours.
I'm not sure the Ravens are qualified to beat anybody by double digits right now. Because Andrews has been a little bit banged up. They don't have Bateman. They don't have a deep threat. Lamar he's obviously frustrated and expressing that
Missed a practice.
again this week.
Yeah.
And he did last week with a hip. But Denver is dreadful. Like you only
They
need
suck.
to beat them by 10. You only need to get to 20. The Ravens can score 20.
They can.
I feel pretty good about that. Thus, I'm going to say Ravens 18,
Oh, God.
Denver 10.
Bishop.
Such a lead up and then the twist.
That's right.
Right at the end, they get
M.
you with the
Night
twist.
Shyamalan.
That really is. Boy, the first time, that was amazing, wasn't it? M. Night.
Yeah.
And then
Unless you missed the opening scene, and then it really blew your mind, just completely out of the blue. What do you mean?
Really?
How could he be dead?
Look, weird things in Denver. You got they're all these people saying nobody likes Russell Wilson, and then I saw that like his wife threw a birthday party, and there's like guys out there going, well, half the people went to his birthday party, so now that's become draft day.
Well, it's draft day.
Like so now all of that's happening. So all of these things are happening out there. Here's what I'm with. I'm with you on this, and I could have just said same. It feels like 17-10 to me, and so I go same.
Next to the NFC Norris division and the Green Bay Packers. I think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. The Packers and Aaron Rodgers traveling to Chicago to battle the 3-9 Bears. I don't know. Fields is playing. I don't know what's going on there, but Bears hosting Green Bay. It's not like the Bears are formidable right now anyways, Bishop.
No, they're not. And as I mentioned yesterday on the program, with the win, the Packers would become the winningest team in NFL history. Not only would they be the winningest by wins, but also by winning percentage. So they have both of those things. They're already winning percentage. They would pass Chicago. Up until that point, only the Bears have held that title in the history of this league as the winningest franchise in the league. So the Packers will get that on Sunday. I think Rodgers is probably aware of those type of things and loves nothing more than owning Chicago. I think he will play. I think he plays well. I like Green Bay huge in this one, 24-10.
Zagura.
Same. I just don't know if Fields is playing. And
I don't think he's going to. I think they.
You think
what's
they're
the
just
point?
shutting him down?
Yeah.
No, wrong.
Sorry, brother. I'm sorry.
Titles to win, baby.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
You
though.
have two
I think,
quarterbacks.
I
You're
think the
smart.
Packers can take care of. Well, you said he's missed practice too, Lamar.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
Watch yourself. Watch yourself.
What?
Watch yourself. With you get with the quarterbacks.
No,
Paying
that's why I was
attention.
just.
Yeah,
and part of me
careful,
maybe
be
want to
careful.
go.
Nothing will derail his all-star team's chances, like both quarterbacks not playing.
I know, man. What the heck?
What the heck, man?
So did you go same?
Yes.
Yes, same.
Okay. A little cross-division crime on crime coming your way on Sunday. Jacksonville, 4-7 on the football season, traveling to Detroit City. 4-7 Lions, 4-7 Jags. Zagura.
For clarification purposes, just for my own edification, please describe crime on crime.
Meaning this is garbage versus garbage. Could be a lot of offense.
man.
Could be a fun
I think
game,
it's a fun
but it
game.
means nothing.
Yeah, I think they'll score a lot of points.
I think
both
it's going to
these
be a
teams.
fun
Yeah.
game. Well, the fact of the matter is both of these teams are fun. Both of them are frisky, but only one has the guy who's playing as well as anybody in the league at the most important position over the last 3 weeks, and that would be the Jaguars. And thus, Trevor Lawrence says,
Oh, boy.
"Oh, Herbs, how I miss you not."
Not.
Jags, 1. Lions, 0.
Different, but close. Lions, 1. Jags, 0.
They will not be shut out.
Good old 1-0
I think it's a
football
shootout.
game.
I think
Love
it's
those.
Oh, it's going to be
37-34, whoever has
80,
it
90.
last. Yeah, I like it. Going to be a fun game.
All right, up next from the AFC East, the New York Football Jets, Mike White taking the Jets to a big win. Can he do it again, this time on the road and against a much better football team as they go up north to battle the Minnesota Vikings? 5-1 on the football season. Vikings are 9-2 and trying to get that number 1 spot. Bishop.
Mike White, I've got one thing to say to you. Don't you dare hurt Lucia. You understand me?
Protect Lucia at all
She is a
costs.
princess at all costs.
A treasure.
She's done nothing wrong. She's a treasure.
A treasure.
All she wants is a store, for God's sakes. I don't want to hear about people she's got to answer to, Tessios or whoever.
No.
Like, protect Lucia, Mike White. That's your one job on Sunday. You'll fail at your other job. Vikings, $1 billion.
Listen, protecting Lucia is a full-time job, and it deserves all of his attention. Therefore, it would not surprise me if there's an interception thrown here or there due to distraction. By the way, I'm very interested to see Gardner, Justin Jefferson. That feels like a prime time. That feels like
That's
a fun
pretty good.
primetime
That's pretty good.
matchup.
Yep.
Agreed.
Jefferson's playing himself into that Offensive Player of the Year stuff.
He's hold on, the favorite.
The favorite. Is he really?
Yeah.
Over Tyreek Hill? Yeah. It's a 2-man race.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
Next, the Pukers, 4-7, but off a win last week, traveling to Atlanta. Always a hotbed, always temptation. The Falcons, 5-7, gutless, back to being gutless.
Gutless
welcoming
Falcons.
in the Pukers.
Remember that? Gutless Falcons.
Zagur, I believe this one is you.
People would get mad at me.
They get so mad.
So mad.
gutless.
How would you say they're gutless? How you call a professional athlete gutless? You don't get the show.
You don't get the
Yep,
shot.
they're back to being gutless.
All right. Atlanta is 1/2 game out of winning their division,
They sure are.
and they are 2 games out of the wild card right now. So they are most certainly still in the mix. They've got more to play for. The Steelers, though, very resilient bunch. Mike Tomlin's never had a losing record. Long way to go to erase that. But I just feel like the ultimate stakes are higher for Atlanta. Najee Harris could be banged up in this one. We don't know his status. And so, therefore, I'm going to take a tough Falcons team at home, 17
it pains me to say this. Pittsburgh's got pride. They play hard. They'll play motivated. There will be a ton of Steeler fans down there in Atlanta for that game. I like the Pukers in this one, 21-14.
Ooh.
Don't give me those eyes.
Hello. Up next, should be a good game. Maybe it'll be a good game. Not really sure. The Tennessee Titans, 7-4 on the football season, on the road visiting the best team in the National Football League, the 10-1 Philadelphia Eagles. Bishop.
Yeah, I think last week what we saw with Tennessee is when you have a sturdy defense that can limit King Henry on the ground, and Cincinnati suffocated him, they don't have a lot of options. They don't have A.J. Brown anymore. In fact, he plays on the other team. I think Philly kind of rolls in this one. I think Philly's D-line is an even bigger problem. I like Philly big in this one. I've been critical of their schedule, but I think they shine pretty brightly. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby. Eagles 34, Tennessee 21.
Zagura.
Same. That's what I had in there. The Eagles, I think if they get up early, it's going to be a very difficult game for the Tennessee Titans. And I think the Eagles can run away with it. Jalen Hurts playing phenomenal football right now.
We go to the NFC East. Washington. They've won 3 in a row. The New York Football Giants, they've lost 2 in a row. Is there really a chance that both New York teams do not make the playoffs? I believe that there is.
Yeah.
Washington visiting the G-men. Zagura.
Heineke is frisky. Terry McLaurin, that defense, the defensive front has been dominant. I think they're a road dog that I think most people would be like, oh, I'm taking the Giants at home. I feel like this is not a public bet to take the Washington Commies here. And so, therefore, I'm going to do it. Commies 3, Giants 0.
Yeah, same. I think they'll handle them. I think the Giants have kind of been figured out a little bit. I don't know about Chase Young or not, but even without him, their D-line is fierce. They've been a great fantasy play on defense the last couple of weeks. I like Washington big in that one as well.
The hottest team in the National Football League. You could make the argument the 2 hottest teams in the National Football League. The Miami Dolphins, winners of 5 in a row. They are now 8-3. Visiting the 4 straight win San Francisco 49ers, who don't play in San Francisco. Zagura.
Nate, nobody's paying attention to how beat up our team is, Nate. I know we're getting it done, but we're really injured, and I'm concerned about this one. Nate, Niners are going to get destroyed.
Yeah, I think they're doing pretty well over Nick Bosa's Defensive Player of the Month. McCaffrey there.
Kyle runs them all into the ground, Nate.
But actually, Dad, his utilization is down.
Yeah, that's right.
Significantly since he was in Carolina.
Nate.
Spumoni.
Niners. In Pedro's face. 24. Dolphins.
Do it.
25.
Wow. Same, but different. Niners 24, Dolphins 21.
That's what I was really going to say.
24-21.
But then I just
Which one is the
This is a great game.
I'd say what I'm going with is the same.
I wish this was Sunday Night Football.
It should be.
I wish it was.
I wish it was. Yeah.
I wish we could watch it because we're going to be on a plane
I
coming
know.
up
You
from
guys are going to
Houston.
miss both of the late games that are
I know.
awesome. The next one, 2 down, is going to be great, too.
Yeah, not so great indeed. Up next to the NFC West, the 49ers in action against Miami. The hapless Rams, 3-8 on the season, welcome in the 6-5 Seattle Seahawks. I feel like the Seahawks are teetering. The season is on the brink here. A loss to these Rams,
yeah.
I think it goes out of control the other way, and it's all over but the crying. Bishop, lead us off.
Yeah, I think it's already teetered for the Rams. They are past the brink on this one. I think this will be a Seahawks home game on Sunday in L.A., and I think the Rams are going to play a lot of road games at home over the course of the next month. It's a big number for a team that's lost a couple of games in a row, but I think they'll handle it. I think the Rams are really, really, really bad. Seattle 21, Ramit 10.
No Aaron Donald for the first time in his career due to injury. No
bad.
Cooper Kupp. No. Why would they even play Stafford?
No, they wouldn't. He intimated that he wouldn't, so yeah.
The Seahawk waves on a roll, yeah, the tide is rushing in.
Amazing.
The Hawks are gonna win. Yeah, so when I was a kid, my dad was in a Stratomatic league. Have I told you the story before?
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Seahawk wave. Gotta play it. I wonder if he still has the little, it was a mini record. You know, those would still
the
fit on
little
the
guys.
player, but it
Yeah.
was a little guy. I also had the something from Melmac by Alf on a mini record one day that I used to play quite a bit. Alf was a good show. Alf was nuts.
What a premise.
What a premise.
Did you make a pick?
Yeah, we both had Seattle.
We did. Didn't you hear the song?
Yeah, both went with Seattle.
But I never know where it's going
Yeah.
ultimately.
The Tide is coming in.
That's right.
The Hawks are going to
win
by more than 7.
All right, we talk about Miami being one of the best teams in the AFC. These two might be the two hottest teams outside of Miami.
Weren't very hot on Halloween.
No, they were not.
They weren't hot on Halloween, Jack.
But they haven't lost.
That's a great use of Jack.
But they haven't
And I think
lost
you got to have that,
since.
too. That's got to be in there.
A little Hulkster. The Hulkster's got to be in there.
Yeah.
A little bit.
The Bengals, winners of 3 in a row, 7-4, welcoming in the 9-2 Kansas City Chiefs, who have not lost on the road in 2022. Zagura.
I don't know that there was love that could be lost, but I can tell you there is no love lost between these two teams. I'm told it's personal.
Oh.
I'm told that there is animus.
Oh, boy.
Between these two teams. And I think
Oopsie
Patty
daisy.
Mahomes wants to avenge what happened in Cincinnati last year in a stupefying game that broke the hearts of many a Browns fan. I think that he wants to avenge what happened in the AFC Championship game that denied him an opportunity to compete for a Super Bowl. That, quite frankly, I think that the Chiefs would have won that Super Bowl, in my opinion.
I think you're probably right.
And so,
And thus,
Chiefs 80, Bengals 74.
wow. There's a lot of ways that could have gone at the
Bishop?
other end of it. I'll tell you, I have this little rule that if Mahomes is giving 3 or less, you go Mahomes.
I like that rule.
That's my rule.
Sounds like a Bill Simmons rule. I like it.
Yeah, if it's less than a field goal, then I'm in on him. And I like Cincinnati a lot. Do you know that Mahomes has more touchdowns inside the 10? You see the stat yesterday? Mahomes has more touchdowns inside the 10-yard line, touchdown passes, than like 17 NFL teams have touchdown passes, period.
I would bet we're one of them.
I think that's a lock. Yeah. I think he's like 17.
We have 12.
I think he has like 17 touchdown passes
So then
inside
yes.
the 10-yard line.
Yes, we are one.
Yeah.
Up next, the final late day game. The Los Angeles Chargers visiting Las Vegas. Vegas, winners of 2 straight to turn around their season. Maybe a little too late, but they're 4-7. The Chargers 6-5 after going for 2 late last week to win. Bishop.
This could go any number of ways. I would never be on this game. Because I don't know what I'm going to get out of Vegas. Your boy Staley is nuts with game planning. He's undermining his own quarterback. And in the end, I go back to kind of the similar rule. Herbert's really good. He's not in the Mahomes. Sometimes I think he gets put ahead of Burrow even sometimes, which a lot. And I think it's just because of like some of the throws he can make. But Burrow's
ridiculous.
more accomplished,
Certainly,
and I think is better at this point. Not to say Herbert won't be at some point. But I'll roll there. I don't love it. I would not do this one if we were doing it for real, but I'll go Chargers. I think it's going to be crazy. 38-37, 38-36.
The final game of the season last year.
38-36.
Final game of the regular season. Sunday Night Football, win and you're in, was one of the most incredible performances I've ever seen from a quarterback by Herbert. And Carr answered the bell. They got in the playoffs. They lost to Joe Burrow, who you just referenced, in the Cincinnati Bengals, their first playoff win on the road to the Super Bowl last year. But I still like this Chargers team. I don't know why. I got a soft spot for them. Maybe it's because I'm trying to will them in. I had them being a wild card. And they're right there, my friend.
Right there.
And all they need to do is get in the dance. And they're going to get in that dance, and they're going to get a win here as well.
Final game, Sunday Night Foosball. Jeff Saturday. Boy, seems like forever ago you won that first game and you took that victory lap. Been a little rough since. And it doesn't get any easier as the Dallas Cowboys and Big D awaits the Indianapolis Colts 4-7-1. Dallas 8-3 and winners of 2 in a row. Zagura.
Does Matt Ryan survive this game?
So right now, if the playoffs started in the NFC, Cowboys would go against the Bucks. Can you imagine Brady behind that offensive line? Who knows what's going to happen with Wirfs and those guys coming at him? So let alone Matt Ryan.
Oh, man.
That is not an atmosphere at all for success. Jack.
Matt Ryan, Michael Parsons is going to be eating your lunch, Jack. Dallas, 100. Colts, -4.
Same. Yeah. Beatdown city, it feels like to me as well. You look at their path in the NFC, really navigable. They play the Eagles in a couple of weeks. That's going to be a fun one. to kind of see where those two teams are on that front. Good job out of you, Gibby, on that.
Great job out of you,
Great
man.
job of me. All right, final thoughts on our game coming up next. Before we do that, though, when you're on the injured list, get a little help getting back in the game. That number is 1-800-ELK, Ohio, for a free case review. Elk & Elk's a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. So much more to come, including your prediction from our game. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Cleveland Browns Daily brought to you by Ballybet. Coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
And hey there, Browns fans. Enter for your chance to win Browns season tickets, free Milk-Bone dog treats for a year and more. It's all courtesy of Milk-Bone, the official dog treat of the Cleveland Browns. Visit browns.com/Milk-Bone to enter. Then visit your local Meijer to check out all the variety of Milk-Bone dog treats. This, my friend, is the one we have been waiting for. Deshaun Watson for the Cleveland Browns. I cannot wait to see what this thing looks like on Sunday. I kind of like where we're at in this one, brother.
Yeah, me too. This is a good matchup. It's the perfect welcome back game. He's familiar with the building. He's going to be familiar with the sight lines, and you're getting an opponent that is struggling mightily, and you have an opportunity. You know, they've been down by 20 or more at the half in each of their last two games. You have an opportunity to jump on them. You have an opportunity to ease back into it, make it turn into, you know, if you handle your business, turn into basically a joint practice, as John McClain said on this very program a day ago, where you're going to be able to get some throws out to the side, a couple of boots. You're going to get some movement, some RPOs, some read option. Get comfortable because business really picks up in Cincinnati, but don't you dare overlook it. Browns are winning this one big, 35-3.
This is Daenerys on the dragon.
That's right.
That's what's coming. I'm with you. I think it's a beatdown city. I think the matchup is perfect. I think it's a Browns home game pretty much by the time we get into it. Heard a lot of people down there that it's headed that way. So that's the way it seems to me. I like us big in this one as well. Enjoy your Browns weekend. We're back Monday to break it all down. The next level is coming up next. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.
You've been listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, a production of the Cleveland Browns and ESPN 850 WKNR.